Waiting for. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I will call the Dunn County Transit Committee meeting to order for September 8th. We have all members present except for Robin Sweeney. We also have John Swirsky, Dave Bartlett, and John McLaughlin. And Jim Menz is here now. So, all right. Approval of minutes for the August 11th. The only thing yes, Brian.
I move to approve.
The only thing I need to change is Kelly called the meeting to order. He was there, so I suppose I should probably be on the call to order on September 11th. So.
Yeah, I think there's one other place where I think my name got swapped in for yours. So with those corrected, I would second the approval of the meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Motion's been made by Brian and seconded by Kelly with that corrections. Any other? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Good enough.
One abstention. I abstained. I wasn't there.
Yeah. Anything for public? Any hearing or anything? Nothing. Nothing there. I guess 6 staff reports on to Austin.
Good morning. Okay, screen 2. Share that. All right, staff meeting. 9/8. Today, talking about ridership, the Stout Route, which came back yesterday. School is in session starting today. And monitors and buses, an update to the marquees, a tracker update on our GPS systems, our compliance site review that we finally got the results back for, around the shop, current staffing, and any questions. So ridership actually took a downturn in July and in August compared to July. Doorstop and Red Cedar ridership decreased from 446 in July down to 369 in August, down almost 20% on those. And if you look back to June and July, it was up 8% in July compared to June. Community route ridership decreased from 194 in July to 133 in August. It took a bigger downfall to a little over 30% decrease compared to up 18% in July. Stout Route. Route started yesterday. We wanted to get into the swing of things before class started today, and I think it was great to have it on the road yesterday. We had 134 riders yesterday.
Still the same though.
And then class starting today, we had 55 riders in the first half hour of this morning. So it'll be an interesting after the end of the day today to see where we're at, considering it's already a third of the way to yesterday. So it looks like it's getting to the back swing of things. Other updates, mask policy, TSA mandate was extended for public transportation until 1/18/2022 as of now. LCD monitors. So this is something that I put on the slideshow last month that we were brainstorming, and they are all in already. So we're excited that they were in before school started. Compared to before, every bus had 5 to 6 8x11 sheets of paper taped up all over the front of these buses to have our ducks in a row when it came to the legal documents in these buses. Now everything is on a simple flash drive slideshow, as well as between the Stout Route and Community Route. Us with the Stout organizations, they're going to send us a list, whether it be every week or every month, of upcoming events on the Stout side of things that will go on the Stout bus and potentially the community bus, as well as upcoming community events. So this has been a cool addition that we took from another transit agency and made our own. So all the buses, other than a couple of our older spares, have them, and we ordered 3 extras. So when the new buses come, we'll have them for them. Oops. Marquee updates. Okay. Previously, before, if you look at the picture on the left side, the little twin vision LCD unit is up above the windshield on a lot of these buses, or it wasn't mounted yet anywhere. We mounted these right in the cockpit above the mirrors on a few of these that we could, where it's easily accessible by the driver in the driver's seat. And we now added the capability to still say what the route that the bus is on, but it also says in the far left what stop is upcoming. For example, this bus would be at Marketplace at the moment, and the upcoming 2 stops would be Red Cedar and Clock Tower on the list. So this is something that this is still in the R&D stage, kind of, but I think it'll be good and easy to follow. And still, the further away you get from this bus, even though there's 2 lines of text, I was out in the back field and could still read it. So it should work out pretty well for us. Tracker updates. So before, the only buses that were tracked was the Stout bus and the community bus. We ordered a few more. We ordered 2 more trackers. That way our doorstop and our Red Cedar buses could be tracked by all community members as well. As this is a better GPS software system for tracking our buses for our team as well, compared to the EcoLane software that tracks our buses and a lot of times can't keep up. Before, we didn't have any spare trackers, or they are hardwired into these buses, and all of these have the 12-volt outlet plugins, so they're easily switchable. So no matter what bus we're going to send out that day, it has one in it. Now all buses, compared to only a couple, have them in it. Compliance site review. So there's about 6 sections, 15 or so different topic questions, 15 sections or so of everything from how we collect money to what our policies are, where they're posted, stuff like that. The only things that we needed to work on with this was these findings in red here. Advises the subrecipient to post the EEO statement in the employee handbook, job applications, employment notices, job postings, and in the transit facility. It's posted everywhere other than the employee handbook when I looked through it. So that needs to be updated, but it's in the transit facility and it's in the PI management job applications. Section 8, Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA requirements. WisDOT advises the subrecipient to advertise the availability of its deviated fixed route service, community, or the Stout Route, including that deviations can be requested by anyone, not just persons with disabilities. Now, this doesn't happen often at all, but it does happen and it needs to be in there. So this is on every brochure as well as on our website. Over to the right here, how to ride. So Dunn County Transit provides a community bus that has scheduled stops within the city of Menominee. Riders may flag a bus for pickup or drop off anywhere on the bus route. The bus may deviate from the route up to 3/4 of a mile to make pickups for both ADA and general riders at a higher fare, $3 each way, which is our doorstop rate. All deviated pickups require a 2-hour ahead reservation by calling our number, and this route may be subject to delays. With it being an hour route and a pretty tight 1-hour route, that does happen if we do go off schedule there. But it has been a great thing with riders that have ridden the doorstop bus in the past, but live extremely close, if not on the community route. And that's been a cost saver for those riders as well. They take the community bus to Walmart when they don't have groceries for free, and they take the doorstop bus back home. Section 9, miscellaneous provisions, action required, advises the subrecipient to revise its safety policy consistent with the WisDOT provided template and have the contractor adopt the policy. I uploaded that to Black Cat right at the end of April, and I must not have labeled it the best. He did not see it in Black Cat. So that is the compliance site review. So in my eyes, definitely not too bad that we got on it. And Kent was awesome in kind of leading the charge on this and making sure we had everything in a row. So when 5 years from now comes, we'll be sitting pretty good and knowing what we're doing compared to the first time when we were about 3 months in. So around the shop, so we had this toolbox here, and we were wondering what to do. We had about every tool that we didn't need, but none of the tools that we did need. We had about 18 different sockets the size of 5/16 to 9/32, but we didn't have a single 10 mil kind of thing. So especially with the Amazon business account that the county's got, we were able to get a nice set of Craftsman open and boxed end wrenches, as well as everything from 1/4 inch up to 1/2 inch drive sockets. And we went through this whole toolbox that had some really interesting things in it, from timing computers that I have no idea who would have used those ever at the transit shop back in the day, but some pretty cool stuff in there. But took it all out and put what we needed in, labeled it, and that's been great for just staying efficient on actually working on stuff here ourselves. So it's been great. Staffing, currently myself, and then operations supervisor John Douglas is here, who's also a driver. We have 7 other drivers. Included in that are 2 other drivers that are also dispatchers, with one sole dispatcher who is not a CDL driver. And we just hired back a previous driver that we had pre-COVID. Stephen Bowe has been a great driver, and happy to have him back here, and especially to hit the ground running when he came back and not have to train him much compared to somebody coming in fresh. And then we still could use one more, but that's preaching to the choir with all our different departments. So long story short, it could be worse for looking for good help around here. We have a good team, and happy to have Steve as well. Other than that, any questions? Oh, sorry. Couple last things. I emailed Thomas from Phoenix Bus about a week ago about an update on the chargers because Excel's asking us to put it into their schedule to install these chargers. They were supposed to be delivered first, if not second week of August. They still aren't here. And I called Phoenix Bus yesterday. They're actually moving offices, but I did get somebody on the phone, and he said they were supposed to be shipped out next week, and he said he'd get back to me as well. I don't think we have any more news than that, but that's a little bit of information I can get you. But he said he'll get back to me, so I assume by next month's meeting, I'll have some better news.
Thanks, Austin. Any questions for Austin?
I got one.
Go ahead, Darren.
Austin, on the August ridership, does that follow a pattern at all? Did you have any ideas on the decrease? Is that something seasonal or we don't know?
You know, it was the only thing that I could see, because it wasn't just one route, it was all the routes. Seemed like things were kind of a little bit locking down again. Whether it be just the vibe in general with everyone, or with everything else that's going on. So that's what I see. If it was just one of the routes, I'd have a little bit different probably thoughts on it, but yeah, it wasn't, I didn't like to see it because I was excited seeing the trend go up in June and then July and then 30% decline in August. So
No, that makes sense. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions for Austin? I see none. Thanks, Austin. Very good report. I appreciate all the information you send out like that. I don't have anything for actions or resolutions. I don't have anything else. Anything else that anybody has for questions? If not, I guess we can adjourn the meeting. On to Kelly.
All right. So we are noticed at 8:15, so we can go ahead and call the meeting to order. I assume Joe has just stepped away for a moment. I will give him a minute to come back before I actually start us up. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Very well.
Sure can't complain.
I'm gonna guess Joe will get back here in time to not miss out on anything too important. And I'm gonna count him as here because his screen is on. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. There he is. Call the roll shows all members are present, plus Chair Bartlett, Director Swirsky, John McLaughlin, Krista, and Rich Johnson.
I'll leave.
Still with us. Okay, you can head out. Good to see you. So that's call the roll. I would move on to approval of minutes.
We approve.
Motion by Randy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chuck. Any notes or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. Krista, do we have anything from anyone?
Did not receive any public comment.
No, we did not.
Great. No public comments. Nothing placed at the request of the chair. Staff reports. John, it's all yours.
Staff report, highway operations. I'm just going to kind of highlight from my monthly report here. We're continuing all the maintenance, a lot of hand patching, spray patching down a little bit for the DNR on the trail system down by Rock Falls and Caryville area. We've been doing quite a bit of spray patching with both trucks on State Trunk Highway 85 from basically the Dunn line towards Durand on 85 for the state. Been doing a few projects, some paving for the towns. I wrapped up all the chip sealing there last month, so that's good. Bills are coming through. Both are billing for the work we did for the towns, and the oil and chip bills are mingling in here. So we're working them through the system. We started taking salt deliveries last week. So starting to stockpile our salt for the winter. Things have been going good there. Keep going on with truck and equipment repair. We've been going through a lot of DOT inspections, getting some of the minor stuff fixed, air leaks, ball joints, pins and bushings in a lot of the wings and plows. Catching up on that. Mowers have been out now to do our top cut pre-winter. So that's been going pretty good. The growth inhibitor has really helped with controlling, even with all the moisture we had in July and August, growth of the vegetation. So it's been a little bit quicker and easier for the mowers to go through. I did have a conversation with County Manager Miller here about a week or two ago to ask about my staffing. Currently, we are running one mechanic down from where we were at the end of last year when Bob and Carl retired. What we did is we hired one mechanic and then we left the other position vacant temporarily. And I told Paul we would review it at the end of July to see what our staffing and if there was any backlog in the shop. Currently, I think we're doing fantastic. We've been ahead of the curve from typically where we've been. So it's been really good. We're actually getting ahead of ourselves where we're actually looking at the stuff in queue. We're kind of preparing a season ahead of time rather than it's snow season. We start looking at all the plows. So we're kind of getting ahead of the curve. The newer equipment, the newer trucks have definitely been paying us back there as far as having stuff laid up for massive expenses and long durations in the shop. So I told him my recommendation right now is to leave that mechanic's position in, but unfund it. So if we ever come to where there is a backlog, it would already be there. Then we just figure out the funding source and pick up from there. But right now, I would suggest leave it on the organizational chart, but not fill it right now. But it's there just in case we ever come back to need it. The other thing he asked me to explore was with Marge retiring here in November, if we could reduce that position to a part-time position, you know, either keep it to 40, 30, or 20. My recommendation to that would be to keep it a full-time position. Since we hired Missy Schultz here in at the end of May, it's been really nice. If Marge or Dustin or I are out of the office for a mail runner on vacation, we'd have staffing here. With COVID, it's kind of going the opposite way than what we like. But we did notice that there was some foot traffic that started picking up with driveway permits, utility permits, and it is nice to have somebody at the front desk answer phones and take care of those walk-ins. So with 2 full-time staffers up front, it's just been a little bit easier to have somebody here and just to answer the phones to kind of watch that front door. I had a conversation with Heather Murray, our HR director, and we are going to transition the drug testing to HR come November and kind of take that off that plate. But to kind of backfill those duties, we would like, Dustin and I have talked about it. We have a bunch of plans and stuff in storage, and with our leaky roof, we would like to get those scanned in and archived before they get damaged. that, and then also to kind of fill in for some of the driveway permits, some of the utility permits, kind of takes some stuff off the plate of Dustin and myself, and then get a handle on the titles for all the vehicles and get some order to that in the vault. Just kind of take some duties away, but reassign some duties. Does the committee have any comments on what we're going to do to those two positions?
Anyone?
Yeah, I think just manage it as you see best, John.
Okay.
Try to get the most efficiency, which
Yep.
it appears you're doing. And I really agree with archiving or those plans and stuff. We don't want anything getting wet. So I think it all sounds good to me.
Okay, thank you. Dave?
Dave, did you have something you wanted to add?
You mentioned on funding the mechanical position. Is that not? Are you still going to have the same amount of funding for the highway and just use it for something else? Or are they going to unfund it like we would in other departments where that money would be taken away from highway then, decreased from your budget?
Yeah, obviously I would like just to throw the money to the other side, but sometimes that's not realistic. So I guess we haven't gotten to that far into the discussion yet, but if we unfund it and it goes back to the greater good of all the departments, I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, I could spend the money on road maintenance and road construction if we kept it internally, but I'm not opposed to either scenario. I think to throw back into the general fund or reduce our overall cost for the greater good isn't a bad deal neither. I'm not going to turn down money ever, but I understand on everybody else, if they cut a position, it goes back to take it off the top of the whole budget, and I'm comfortable with that. But I say just leave it on the organizational chart. So if we ever need it, we don't have to jump through all the hoops to put it back in. We would just leave it there and then unfund it for right now.
Yeah, my only thought is once a position is unfunded, it's tough to get that funding back.
Yep.
Through the whole, looking at the county as a whole because of levy limits and stuff. So I was wondering what the thoughts were on that.
Right. And I guess if we took it off the top and it went back to the general fund, and then down the road in a year or 2 or 6 months, if we do need that position, then I'm going to have to kind of scrape from the rest of my budget to drum up the money to fund it. So which is another hurdle, but it's been done before.
Yeah, yes, go ahead, Chuck.
I was just going to say, I agree with Dave. I think we've got to think about that one a little bit longer because it is so hard to get. I mean, I just think we need to think about it a little bit longer on that one.
Okay.
That's all.
I guess what I was wondering is, evidently no decisions are made, maybe by us anyway. So we can try to keep that extra funding in the highway budget just in case they need it next year. So we don't have to try to cut something else come next year when we want that position.
Yeah, my other thought on that would be if we reallocated it out of highway, I don't know, since that's levy money for highway, I don't know that would impact our budget in terms of not being able to lower things with the vehicle registration fee. So we would want to make sure that if it was going to be reallocated, and I would prefer to keep it in highway budget, that it wouldn't make an impact on that. So that's just one of those things we should check.
Okay.
Yeah, it could make an impact if we cut our levy. It could make an impact on the money we get back from the state too.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in the next, I think it's tomorrow afternoon, we have a meeting, Paul and Heather and I. So I will bring the commission's wishes to them, and we'll go forward with our recommendations.
That sounds great. So more on the report then, or?
No, that concludes the shop operations there. Any questions on the monthly financials? I have John McLaughlin here standing by.
Anyone?
We did have a rather high month. There was about little over 1.4 million going out the door. 255,000 were for 2 plow truck chassis that we ordered last year. There was about 700,000 for asphalt to Matthew, quite a bit to Milestone and Todd's Ready Mix for gravel and chip materials. And then now our oil bills from chip sealing have been coming through. So there were quite a few large purchases here. It looks like we're about 164,000 ahead of the monthly breakdown. So we're still in the black. I anticipate that number in the black growing here as we get to the end of the year, since a bunch of these construction projects are coming to the end and the bills are in. It should start slowing down on the spending, and then our monthly allotment should be going up and keep going ahead in the black. So any questions?
I've got a question back to your report. Have you fog sealed V going west of Ridgeland yet?
No, that was supposed to happen this week, weather permitting.
Okay, so you'll probably fog seal our township road at the same time?
Yes, and
All
it
right,
looks
thank
like
you.
our weather is going to cooperate. Low humidity, sunshine in here the next 3-4 days. It looks like conditions will be optimal. I actually just talked to Todd from Miggs last Thursday, and he had it on the schedule for actually today. I don't know if he's going to get to it today, but he said probably later this week.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe? Joe and then Brian.
Yeah, I was wondering what salt prices are doing this year.
They're kind of fluctuating right around that $80 a ton. So they took another $2 or $3 increase. Try to use less now with our new brine maker. So hopefully we can save a little bit of money, but Dustin and I were just talking about it yesterday. We're going to have about 98,000 in county salt here in the next month and a half coming in. Obviously the stuff that's coming in now is for the state. State pays the ticket on that, but yeah, we're looking at probably $100,000 or just shy of that for county salt, which is a lot of money that essentially just goes away when snow melts.
Brian?
Yeah, John, I got a phone call a couple days ago from a resident of Sand Creek. They said, I believe it's I is not painted going towards the west and east. And where the intersection of I and M meet, it's
Okay.
kind of dangerous because people, if they're not used to it, they don't know who has the right of way.
Yep.
And he said, well, I said, it's just you Norwegians up there can't figure it out. But he said, no. So I just thought I'd mention that. I honestly don't know if it's painted or not, but he said it was not, which I'm sure it isn't, but I haven't looked at it. So.
Yeah, and I know that's on our list, and I know right now there's a paint shortage, and I don't know if it's all due to COVID, but I know Jay, we're waiting on the fog lines on Jay yet because they came in, did center line, and we pulled them off because we didn't have it shouldered yet. And there's no sense putting fog line on, going in there, shouldering it, and then scraping it off with the grader. So now that's kind of at a standstill until they can get some paint. Then once they get back in the area, they should finish up. Hopefully September, October remain nice, and then we can get out there and get some of this stuff finished up with paint. But I definitely will make a note and double check that we follow up on that.
I'll let him know. So.
And then the W bridge, the rail should have been hung. I haven't been up there recently, but I heard it looks really nice. And we wrapped that rail, and our county forces hung where the project limits for the state stopped. And then we put a new mash end on there. So it should look really nice, shiny, ready to get struck by some farm equipment, Brian.
Hey, it looks nice. I'm ready. When are you gonna pull the signs? That's what I'm worried about. I gotta.
Yeah, we should be getting around to that now that they're buttoning everything up. So
Good. Either that or
hopefully,
I might do that.
if they don't get plucked this week, then they'll be on Brent Creaser's list for next week. But yeah, we're wrapping that one up. Town of Wilson Bridge is going good. So we have some really nice construction weather here coming up in the near future, and the last couple of weeks have been pretty favorable. So
Sounds good. Thanks, John.
yep.
Anything else on the report? Seeing none, thank you. Moving on to the voucher review.
Any questions
Comments?
on the vouchers?
Yeah, I have one for contact engineering for 39,275. What project do they work for? Who are they? I don't recognize that name.
They
And what
are
project?
the culvert pipe supplier. So we just got a couple
Oh.
loads of Contech is the manufacturer for the culvert pipe.
Oh, I thought they were an engineering firm.
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
It'd probably cost about the same or even a little bit less if they were an engineering firm.
Yeah.
But no, we got a couple loads of culvert pipe finally came in here last week.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I've got two. One is just curious. Dead Bus LLC?
Dead Bus Company LLC is a bus salvage over at 53 and Highway S in Chippewa Falls. They basically dismantle buses. That we bought a used motor for the sign truck. Had some issues with the Huey pump, sent some metal through and kind of ground everything up. So Dan found a good used motor over there. They went over, the guy pulled it out, he loaded it in our truck, and then Preston put it back in the yellow sign truck of Brent Creasers. So that was a replacement used engine for the sign truck.
Okay, and then Patrick Rudy, David Rudy, is that right away or?
Yes, that's right away for the H project. As you can see, the two brothers own, they have one parcel of land where it's DP Rudy LLC. And then when you go to the third page, each individual is listed again on the third page, David E and Patrick A. For one is just a construction easement, and the 715175 is for right-of-way acquisition. So H project.
Great, thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the vouchers? Brian? And Joe seconds, I believe. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. No resolutions or ordinances. Our next meeting should be October 13th. Does anyone have anything else?